Okay, this is Sunway Monash genset. We're going to do the cranking test on the genset with the engine starting. This crank test to start the engine also, to test this battery whether okay or not. This battery is more than 10 years. Are more than 10 years? Yeah. Okay, we are going to use a slow motion to capture the voltage drop of the DC voltmeter. Okay, here we have another genset. This genset battery slightly new. Ini yang previously overcharged kan, betul? Okay, before we test run, we're going to put a reference point here, 15 volt DC. Why we use the 15 volt DC as a reference point? Because most of the 24 volt DC parts, item, relay, contactor, control card, once drop below 15 volt DC, it will release and reset and become malfunction because of voltage drop too low. Okay, so we use 15 volt DC as the reference point.
Okay, after testing the genset and recorded the analog voltmeter and witnessing the voltage drop in slow motion, then you can see the characteristics of different types of battery during the startup. For those stronger battery, the voltage drop won't be slightly go below 20 volt DC, it will be above 20 volt DC. However, as your battery gets longer and get older, the voltage will be slightly dropped below 20 volt. But my advice is always allow the battery voltage to stay above 15 volt DC during the cranking time. Anything goes below 15 could cause the whole system relay malfunction and contactor release. Thus, the system will reset by itself. Under auto mode, it won't be able to start automatically unless you can try manual. Here I have a video using manual mode and successfully able to crank. Okay, here we have another sample, witnessing the voltage drop slightly a little bit below 20 volt DC and go on back after the genset has been start in operation, and then the alternator charging back the genset battery. And here there's another sample. This one slightly a little bit below 15 volt DC, however still okay, but recommended to replace the battery if there's a budget, I advise.
Okay, kita try one more genset Baik, ini memang low sudah low. Okay, wait charger on.
Okay, here we have a battery quite low voltage. During the cranking, it falls below 15 volt DC. However, due to using the manual mode, as I'm mechanically holding the start button, so even though the relay release, mechanically the contact still hold. That's why it can start.
Ya. Okay, ini bateri lama. Okay, so kita akan start genset. Kita tengok voltage drop sini. Jatuh berapa banyak. Guna slow motion.
From the video, you witness that after the genset has cranked and the genset has goes to maximum speed, as the alternator start providing 24 volt DC voltage to charge up the battery, and then there's a 240 volt AC available. If you activate a genset run relay, and when this relay activated, it will cut off the genset AMF panel battery charger. So as you can witness, the lights from genset battery charger on is switched to off. That's why you can see the lights from on goes to off, because the genset battery is charged by the alternator. So you have to cut off the genset panel battery charger. It cannot be both way, otherwise the alternator will become a motor. So I hope this sharing can help you in your work, and also in how you check your conditions of your genset battery. And my advice is you have to do this much more frequent, and as you do it more frequent, you will witness the genset battery voltage drop during the cranking characteristic. That means as the more you see the voltage drop characteristic, the pattern and the movement it is, you will experience that when it's considered weak, or when it's considered strong or in good condition. So you have to do this more frequently. It's hard to tell by words, but it's more to how you perceive the movement and the motion of the voltage drop, and how the needle, at what level the needle drops. Okay, as your voltage drop gets near the 15 volt DC area, and maybe slightly or a little bit go lower, it is recommended to replace the battery rather than waiting for the battery to break down. Then during TNB power interruption, your genset won't be able to start automatically. Then you'll be in panic, and if you have your lift no power supply, then you have a man trap. So either way, if you're asking me what are the lifespan of a nickel cadmium battery, I think my best advice is to test the condition or test the strength of your battery during the cranking. Witness the voltage drop. This should be a more accurate way, because each genset model is different, and each genset starter is different. Okay, that's all for now, and thanks for watching and hearing, and do share if you think my video is useful. Thanks a lot, and goodbye. Have a nice weekend.